Just when you think the Apple Watch can't get any sexier, we get a bunch of new watch faces in watchOS 6 that make the Apple Watch sexier, which therefore make your wrist sexier, which therefore make you sexier. Actually, I'm not sure if it actually translates that way. I don't think it carries over. But regardless, we have a bunch of new watch faces in watchOS 6 that we're going to talk about in this video. What's up, YouTube? It's your boy, BMAC. And since you guys are constantly hitting me up on this channel, constantly hitting me up on my Twitter account, asking me what my setup is for my Apple Watch, what watch face I'm using, how I have that watch face set up, what complications I'm using, all that. Since you guys are asking me about those kind of things all the time, I figured it'd probably be a good idea to break down the new watch faces within watchOS 6. So once you get watchOS 6 up and running on your Apple Watch, you'll know which Apple Watch watch face within the new watchOS 6 Apple Watch watch face lineup you'll want to choose. It's a mouthful. I think I got that right though. So without further ado, let's break down the new watch faces within watchOS 6. First up, let's talk about what is probably the most colorful of the new watch faces within watchOS 6. Let's talk about the gradient watch face. Within the gradient watch face, the first thing you'll notice is that there's actually a plethora of different colors to choose from, but color isn't the only customization option. We could actually further customize this watch face for an even more stylized look. If you swipe over to the next edit window, you'll notice that we could edit the style, and this is where the gradient lines actually come in. You have three different options to choose from here, the first of which is an animated gradient line that actually rotates around the entire watch in synchronization with what the second hand would be. The second option is actually to have two different gradient lines, both of which line up with the minute hand and rotate with the minute hand throughout the day. Or the third option here, which adds another gradient line, so a total of three gradient lines. One gradient line that stays with the hour hand, another gradient line that stays with the minute hand, and then again that third gradient line for the animated second hand that's constantly rotating around the watch. And then sliding over to the next edit window will actually give you the option for either a full screen mode or a circular mode. Now this is important because this is where things get a little bit interesting. Within the gradient watch face, you actually cannot add any complications within the full screen mode of this particular watch face. But you can add them, up to 5 actually, within the circular mode of the gradient watch face. Now if we quickly switch over to the circular mode of this watch face, you'll easily see what I'm talking about here. One thing to keep in mind though is that the colors of the complications here will default to the color of the gradient you chose, and this could lead to a couple of problems, like for instance with the activity rings here, this makes them monochromatic, and that, for my purposes, makes them a little hard to read. So I'm not crazy about the monochromatic and single color look that you have within this gradient watch face, but maybe this will suit your style. And when it comes to the new watch faces within watchOS 6, this is probably one of the ones you're going to want to pay attention to simply because of how colorful and cool it actually is. But next up, let's talk about the California watch face. The California watch face has a much more classic look that actually reminds me of the Seiko watch I used to rock on a daily basis prior to ever having an Apple Watch. So the California watch face provides a very classic look, and once again you do get several customization options to choose from. On the first edit window, you'll have your choice of what the hour markers look like, and you could choose either pill-shaped marks, Roman numerals, the California style hour markers, regular numbers, Arabic numbers, or even Hindi numbers. So you got a lot of choices to choose from, but personally, I'm a classic Roman numerals kind of guy. And you'll notice on the next edit window, you once again have the option here for either a full screen or circular mode for this particular watch face. Now, unlike the gradient watch face we just talked about, you actually do get up to 2 complications within the full screen mode of the California watch face, but once again, if we switch over to the circular mode of this watch face, you'll see the multiple complication options once again pop up for that. But first, if we do another swipe over to the next edit window, this will show our color options for the California watch face with the options of either white, off-white, black, or blue. But for the sake of adding a little color, I'm probably going to choose blue here. Looks pretty nice. I like that a lot, actually. And if we do one more swipe over to the next edit window, this is where you have the 2 complications you could choose from within the full screen version of the California watch face. Or to get more complications, once again, we could choose the circular version of this watch face a few edit windows back. But I must say, the California watch face in the circular mode looks pretty darn cool, especially with the fact that those Roman numerals are actually inside the watch itself. And all in all, the California watch face is probably one of my favorites of the new ones we have. But next, let's break down the solar dial new watch face. Basically, the solar dial new watch face is an updated version of the solar watch face that we've had on the Apple Watch for a while now. And in terms of customization, there's not a whole lot of options that you have here, but the watch face itself is pretty cool and rather informative. The larger dial here represents the sun's location in the sky in relation to your current location. And then we also have this sub-dial right here, which can be customized in the first watch face edit window to either be an analog or digital sub-dial. This is the sub-dial that will tell the actual time. And I prefer digital just because it's a little easier to read on this particular watch face, and we get a pretty cool little ticking animation that shows the minute's progress instead of the animated second hand like we get on the analog watch face. And I like that. It's a nice little touch. It's cool. But another nice little subtlety here, if you actually tap on the watch face, you'll notice the day length info pop up, and in case you couldn't tell by looking outside or by telling what time of day it is, you could see whether or not it's day or night. And then just like the Gradient or California watch face, you do get those corner complications on the solar dial watch face as well, but there are no color customization options here. You are stuck with just blue for now, so that's something to keep in mind. Overall, the solar dial new watch face is pretty darn cool, it's pretty informative, pretty interesting. It could be the perfect watch face for if you're outside a lot, and especially if you have to know when sunset is going to be or how much daylight you have left. But next up, let's talk about a couple trendy and stylistic new watch faces you're going to get. Within watchOS 6, we get a couple new Numerals watch faces. The first of which we'll go over is called Numerals Mono. Numerals Mono is a rather simple watch face. It shows the hour hand, the minute hand, and an animated second hand with a large single numeral, hence the name Numerals Mono, in the background representing the hour. Now this watch face could actually be customized in several different ways. First, you could choose the style of the numeral. You could either choose Western Arabic, Eastern Arabic, Devanagari, or Roman. Now for this kind of style of Apple Watch face, I personally prefer Western Arabic, so I'm gonna be sticking with that. But if we slide over to the next edit window, you'll notice we have some additional customizable style options here, selecting either a solid numeral or an outline numeral. These are both pretty cool, but I do like the outline numeral a little bit more. But if we take one more swipe over to the next edit window, this is where we get to choose our color, and once again, we have numerous colors to choose from. But again, something to consider here is that you do not get any complication options within the Numerals watch faces. So if you're a complications kind of person and you love your complications on your Apple Watch, you might not want to use the Numerals watch faces, but if you don't care about complications, this is a pretty cool watch face to pay attention to. And we do get another Numerals watch face that is very similar to the Numerals Mono watch face. We get a Numerals Duo watch face. The Numerals Duo watch face is pretty much the exact same thing as the Numerals Mono, except for the fact that we actually get, as the name suggests, two different numerals displayed on the Apple Watch watch face. And that second numeral is actually the minute number, so you're gonna get the hour value and the minute value. And you could pick your numeral style just like you did with the Numerals Mono watch face. You could also pick your solid or outline style, but a cool little additional feature here within the Numerals Duo watch face is the option to have both numbers solid, both numbers outlined, or just the hour value solid and the minute value outlined. The solid and outline split between the hour and the minute values creates a nice little subtle separation between the two values. And since we have the hour and minute values on the watch face itself here, you'll notice there are no watch hands like we have on the Numerals Mono watch face. So that makes the Numerals Duo watch face a pretty cool, super minimalistic watch face. It actually reminds me a lot of the Nike watch face. In terms of the color options, you have pretty much all the same color options as the Numerals Mono watch face, but you'll notice you have a nice little slight shift in color shades here to separate the hour values from the minute values. And personally, over the two, I'd probably pick Numerals Duo just because it's a little bit easier to read and I like it a little bit more. And another watch face we're getting is the Modular Compact watch face. The Modular Compact watch face is very similar to the Modular watch face, but it actually reminds me a lot more of the Infograph Modular watch face, especially because of the similar look and purpose of this particular watch face. For starters, you get a nice little sub-dial on the top right-hand corner that makes telling the time very easy, but you also get that large complication on the bottom, which I currently have set to my favorite weather complication for the Apple Watch, Carrot Weather. But in terms of customization, if we get into the edit windows, you'll notice the first customization option we have is changing the sub-dial clock to be either an analog clock or a digital clock, but you could also swipe over to the other edit window, which will allow us to choose our color for this watch face. Now, like I mentioned earlier, I prefer the multicolor options on watch faces because of how important colors could be to particular complications, but also because of how pretty it looks. I'm gonna choose either between the black or the white sub-dial color option here, because those will change the actual clock sub-dial color, but keep everything else within the watch face multicolor. And I think I like the black more for that sub-dial, so that's what I'm gonna personally choose. Boom. All set up. A pretty darn cool watch face that is pretty similar to the infograph modular watch face, which I love so much, so probably going to use this watch face from time to time. Each one of us uses the Apple Watch in a different way, and we have different needs when it comes to our watch faces, so the more options we have, the better. But do me a favor real quick, comment down below your personal favorite new watch face from watchOS 6. I'm curious to see. I personally like complication-based watch faces, but there's always a reason why someone likes a particular watch face, and comment down below your new favorite one from watchOS 6. I can't wait to hear what you guys have to say. I'm gonna go keep playing with my complications and my watch face setups. I feel like there's always something new I have to do when it comes to my watch face. There's always some new complication or app to try, but I will see you guys in my next video. This is hilarious, bro. When I was in high school, I used to actually hate looking at my watch because of how much time I would find out was left in the class period I was in. But now it's like the complete opposite. Now I can't look away from my watch because of how much I love this thing and how sexy it looks. Jeez, times have changed. Oh, I probably should stop staring at it so much though. Enough. Yes.